Good morning. The first reading is from Isaiah, the second chapter. The word that Isaiah, son of Amoz, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. In days to come, the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established as the highest of the mountains, and shall be raised above the hills. All the nations shall stream to it. Many peoples shall come and say, "Come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, that he may teach us his ways, and that we may walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth instruction, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. He shall judge between the nations, and shall arbitrate for many peoples. They shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore." The word of the Lord.
So I was thinking about this Sunday, and I realized that I had a very Advent moment during our Thanksgiving sort of meal and preparation time. We had done so. It's one of those things where at this point we kind of have this down. To be honest, we're not changing anything. Everything's basically the same thing every single year, right? And so we had all the things prepared that we possibly could be prepared. They could go in the oven the minute that everything was ready. It was, and you're trying to aim for that everything comes out and is warm and lands on the table all at the same time, right? And as we get all of that together, we're looking, and I go and I check the turkey to see what temperature it's at, and I realize, oh no. That's not even close to where it's supposed to be. Which, by the way, we'll get into I'm sure at some point I will talk about the fact that turkey that I have done every single year the exact same way, this year decided to just I'm going to take my time with this whole thing and not taste the way that it's supposed to and all those things, but that's a complaint for a different day. But instead, we just waited. And so we realized, okay, well, we can't throw anything in the oven yet because we're still waiting on things to get that turkey ready. So we waited, and we try. You kind of try to distract yourself when you're waiting, right? You try to do things like watch the dog show, and go, "Oh, that dog won." Yeah. Anyway, yeah. And then you try to distract yourself with football, and eventually we did get there, and everything kind of popped in the oven and got out. We may have eaten slightly more. I guess it's a dinner kind of situation more than it was a lunchtime situation. But we had sort of this moment of sort of waiting and just waiting and waiting and waiting. Now, I think about that often when we get to this season of Advent, when we talk about this time of waiting, and specifically for us now, it is waiting, as you heard in our gospel reading, for this time where the Son of Man shall return, when he shall come back and come back into this, bringing all that God has come to bring all to fruition, to bring those to everlasting life. And that we look forward to that day, waiting for that. And I think in some ways this time is really helpful to kind of look back, which is why we get readings from people like our first reading from Isaiah, talking about what does it mean to wait? What does it mean to live in hope as they await the coming of the Messiah into the world? How is it that we can live our lives in this sort of waiting posture? How can we do that in ways that not only bring us life, but help us to see the good that God is bringing into us now? And so, as we enter into this Advent season, I invite us now to hear a little bit from one of those voices of Advent, from Isaiah, the prophet.
I must confess, there are times when I grow weary of being a prophet. It's a thankless job and a lonely one. Day after day, I wander up and down the streets, calling, crying, sometimes raving and screaming. Isaiah the crazy, they call out. Or worse, Isaiah the woeful. I'm ready to quit. But God has not accepted my letter of resignation yet. Forgive me. I jest about matters too sobering for humor. To have a certainty within your very soul for your people, and to know that nobody else sees or understands what I'm saying, or even cares, well, you would come to. I can't help it that God shows me how far these people have wandered from the truth. And so I go on proclaiming, warning, and in general, being ignored. I'm not as gloomy as people would paint me. There's a simple but joyful message that God has also sent me. And in that alone, I can find reason for hope and to carry on. In spite of the calamities and judgments that are to come, God has promised us a Messiah. You are probably familiar with the words I would share. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders. And his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end. I hope the people understood this. I don't know. That I should live long enough to see the blessed child. Perhaps I shall, perhaps not. Maybe it doesn't matter whether I see the child, because I know. Where others simply have to believe me or the other prophets, I can know for certain. And that knowledge gives me such great hope for the redemption of God's people. Through hope, I can believe that God will overcome the evils of the world. Because I have hope, I light the candle of hope.